Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar, your trusted source for global currency news, updates, and real talk about what's happening in the financial world. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest stories lighting up the internet. Rumors claiming that Chase and Wells Fargo are showing internal rates of 5.03 for the Iraqi Dinar and 3.95 for the Vietnamese Dong. If true, this would be a game changer of historic proportions. But how real is it? Let's break down the facts, the hype, and what this could mean for you. Over the last several days, online speculation has exploded. Across social media, forums, and Telegram groups, screenshots are circulating that supposedly show these new, shocking rates appearing on bank systems. The posts claim that these major U.S. banks are preparing for a sudden currency revaluation, the long-awaited RV that Dinar and Dong holders have been anticipating for years. Naturally, people are excited, shocked, and hopeful. And honestly, who wouldn't be? If verified, these rates would represent one of the biggest financial events in modern history. Imagine this: a single Iraqi dinar suddenly worth over $5. That kind of jump isn't just an economic shift. It's a seismic financial shock that would ripple across global markets, investment portfolios, and trade systems. It would rewrite financial planning for millions, and possibly redefine international currency relationships overnight. The buzz online is intense, and that excitement is easy to understand. People have been waiting for a move like this for years, hoping for life-changing gains. But before we jump to conclusions, let's step back and look at what we actually know. As of now, no official confirmation has come from Chase, Wells Fargo, or any central bank involved. Not from Iraq, not from Vietnam, and not from any global financial institution. What we have instead are screenshots, unverified, often blurry, and easily manipulated in today's digital world. And that's where caution becomes crucial. In an era of viral posts and quick edits, what looks real at first glance can often be misleading. Digital editing tools make it easier than ever to create convincing images. A familiar bank logo, a list of currencies, a believable interface. All it takes is a few minutes of editing to create something that looks legitimate. Many of these screenshots have small inconsistencies that experts immediately recognize, from decimal misplacements to layout errors not used in actual banking systems. To the casual eye, they seem authentic, but to those familiar with financial data displays, they raise serious red flags. Let's also remember the strict environment major banks operate under. Chase and Wells Fargo are heavily regulated institutions with multiple layers of internal oversight. Every transaction, every data entry, every display on their internal systems is logged, audited, and subject to compliance reviews. If a real rate like 5.03 for the Dinar or 3.95 for the Dong appeared on their systems, it would trigger immediate internal alerts, senior management meetings, and official communications to the public. It wouldn't just leak online through a screenshot. Even more importantly, such a massive revaluation wouldn't happen quietly. It would involve coordinated announcements from the Central Bank of Iraq, the State Bank of Vietnam, and confirmation from international bodies like the IMF and World Bank. It would dominate headlines across Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, and every global finance outlet within minutes. The absence of that coverage tells us everything we need to know. This isn't an officially verified event. Still, the excitement this story has generated shows how deeply invested people are in these currencies. For years, holders of the Dinar and Dong have followed every hint, update, and rumor, hoping to see their patience rewarded. When numbers like these pop up, 5.03 and 3.95, it sparks a wave of hope that maybe finally this could be it. But hope and verification aren't the same thing, and in finance, the difference between them is everything. Let's break down just how massive these numbers would be if they were real. Right now, one Iraqi dinar trades at roughly 1,010 dinars per US dollar, meaning one dinar is worth less than a tenth of a cent. Jumping from that to over $5 would represent an increase of more than 500,000%. The Vietnamese Dong currently trades around 25,400 Dong per US dollar, meaning one Dong is worth a fraction of a cent. A rate of 3.95 per Dong would mean a jump of nearly 100 million%. something never seen in any stable economy. To put that in perspective, even in cases of extreme hyperinflation, like Zimbabwe or Venezuela, currencies don't revalue upward like that. Major revaluations usually come after redenomination, where a country removes zeros from its currency to simplify numbers, not create instant wealth. The Central Bank of Iraq has discussed redenomination in the past as part of long-term reforms, but it has never suggested or confirmed a sudden spike like the one circulating now. Vietnam's approach is even more conservative. The State Bank of Vietnam carefully manages the dong to maintain stability and protect its export market. A sudden jump to 3.95 would destroy that balance, making Vietnamese goods too expensive internationally and hurting domestic jobs. For decades, Vietnam has chosen slow, steady growth over sudden financial shocks. It's not a country that makes radical overnight currency moves. Experts who've analyzed these screenshots have also pointed out inconsistencies in the supposed data format. The fonts, numbers, and layouts simply don't match Chase or Wells Fargo's verified internal software. In addition, there are no accompanying memos, internal communications, or official documents verifying these rates. If something this monumental were truly happening, every financial regulator and news agency would already be reporting it. The silence is proof that this is, at best, a misunderstanding, and at worst, a deliberate attempt to stir hype. Financial misinformation spreads fast, especially when it promises wealth. Online communities often amplify these stories, sometimes out of genuine excitement, sometimes for clicks, views, or engagement. And while it's easy to get caught up in the moment, this is where rational thinking becomes essential. Acting on unverified information, whether it's buying, selling, or making big financial decisions, can lead to serious losses. The smartest move is always to wait for official confirmation from credible, verifiable sources. In the course of researching this story, I reached out to several contacts in the banking sector and cross-checked data from professional financial feeds. Every reliable source came to the same conclusion. No such rates exist on any legitimate platform, internal or public. The Central Bank of Iraq, the State Bank of Vietnam, and major global outlets all confirm that no revaluation has been implemented, approved, or even discussed at that level. What's circulating online right now appears to be a mix of misinformation and digital fabrication. Now, that doesn't mean Iraq and Vietnam aren't working toward long-term currency reforms. They are. Iraq has been modernizing its financial system, stabilizing the dinar, and exploring gradual improvements in purchasing power. Vietnam continues to grow as a manufacturing powerhouse, maintaining steady, incremental gains. These are real positive developments, but they happen through steady progress, not overnight miracles. If Iraq were ever to raise its currency value dramatically, it would likely come through redenomination, the process of removing zeros, not adding sudden trillions in value. It's a technical and economic reset, not an instant profit event. Turkey did it in 2005, for example, removing 6 zeros from its lira to simplify transactions. It wasn't a get-rich-quick moment. It was a reform for long-term stability. The same principle applies here. Let's imagine, purely as a thought experiment, that the rumors were true, that the dinar suddenly hit 5.03. The results would be chaotic. Banks would face massive liquidity crises as customers rushed to cash in. Governments would impose strict exchange limits. The global balance of trade would be thrown into turmoil. Inflation, taxation, and capital control laws would change overnight. What seems like a dream scenario for a few would likely cause enormous instability for everyone else. That's exactly why central banks avoid sudden, drastic moves like these. While a massive overnight revaluation is unrealistic, a slow, steady rise over time remains possible. Iraq's efforts to diversify its economy, reduce dependence on oil, and modernize its banking sector all help strengthen the dinar's foundation. Vietnam's continued growth in exports and technology keeps the dong resilient. Real progress takes time, planning, and global coordination, not a leaked screenshot. After analyzing all available evidence, the verdict is clear. These bank rate screenshots are not real. The numbers don't align with market data, no official institutions have confirmed them, and no credible news outlets have reported them. They are most likely digital fabrications designed to attract clicks or manipulate sentiment. As exciting as these claims sound, it's critical to separate verified financial news from viral rumor. That said, this entire episode serves as a powerful reminder. In today's digital age, information travels at light speed, but accuracy often lags behind. That's why it's vital to verify every claim, especially when it involves your money. Always rely on official bank statements, central bank announcements, and reputable news agencies. Hope and excitement are natural, but they should always be grounded in fact. Even though these rumors turned out to be false, the discussion they've sparked is valuable. It's a chance to understand how currency markets work, what drives true revaluations, and how to spot misinformation early. The dream of a stronger dinar or dong isn't impossible. It's just not instantaneous. Real value comes from real economic strength, and that's something Iraq and Vietnam are both building over time. So, as we close today's report, remember this: financial reality always wins out over speculation. Stay informed, stay alert, and don't let viral hype guide your decisions. Follow official updates, double-check your sources, and keep your expectations grounded. The truth may not always be as exciting as a viral rumor, but it's always more valuable in the long run. Thanks for watching Iraqi Dinar, where we cut through the noise to bring you accurate, fact-based currency news. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this fast-moving story. Until next time, stay smart, stay steady, and stay tuned for what comes next.